on ABC 22. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
We begin this morning with a live look over the city of Dayton right now. We are waking up to a foggy start to the morning.
Yeah, you mentioned your drive-in was pretty foggy this morning, and we have a look at our morning forecast as you head out the door. Let's send it right over to meteorologist Nick Maruziak. Nick, what are we looking at?
Southern part of our area, so it's almost like the fog from yesterday has shifted around a little bit. So Springfield, Xenia area, Wilmington, Lebanon, Miamisburg, look at Middletown at 0 and Dayton at 8. Now, of course, the airport is on the north side, and again, the fog has shifted south. So this may be a case where the southern part of our area is a little bit more affected, something that we'll watch rather closely this morning. But again, southern part of our area right now, some thick fog here and there. Meanwhile, temperatures low 30s, upper 20s. So this is a pretty chilly start to your morning. And part of the reason that we have seen the fog the last few mornings is these temperatures have cooled off so much that they've actually hit the point of saturation. Clear start to your morning. That's the other factor for why we're seeing fog. Temperatures, though, once we get rid of it, should get into the upper 40s. Like yesterday, the clouds will increase, and from there we could deal with an afternoon and evening shower. Meanwhile, on the roads this morning, again, 70 and 75, a little bit of fog there, more of a haze at 3rd Street, but if you are traveling, you're going to encounter a little bit of fog. Right now, no major issues on the interstates, but a couple of road construction projects are wrapping up over the next half hour.
We're learning new details this morning about the officers who took down the suspect in the Nashville school shooting. One of them could have local ties. Multiple news outlets in the Chicago area report Officer Rex Engelbert, who's on the left there, is a graduate of the University of Dayton. Now, we reached out to the university. They tell us they have records of a grad with his name from 2018. However, they cannot confirm if it's him just yet.
We're also learning new details about the 3 children and 3 adults killed. As the community mourns, there are also calls for action. Mike Valerio is in Nashville and has the latest on the investigation and the lives lost.
They're all with God.
A community in mourning, paying respect to the 6 lives lost during Monday's Nashville school shooting.
I'm 101 years old, and I've done a lot of things, but this really hurts.
We're learning new details about the victims shot and killed at a private Christian elementary as the grieving community calls for action.
It's absolutely devastating, and it just calls again for change to happen because this cannot continue to happen.
The 9-year-old victims have been identified as Evelyn Dickhouse, William Kenny, and Holly Scruggs, whose father is the lead pastor at the school's neighboring church. The 3 adult victims all worked for the school. Catherine Kuntz was 60 years old and led the school.
She had this amazing confidence, but she was a person of grace.
Cynthia Peak, who is 61 years old, a beloved substitute teacher, and 61-year-old custodian Mike Hill.
The Congress has to act.
Despite growing calls for change, lawmakers in Washington appearing unready to address gun control.
Right now, I'm not focused on the politics of the situation.
If you think Washington's going to fix this problem, you're wrong.
Meantime, Metro Nashville police releasing this video leading up to the suspect's takedown.
Metro police, open the door!
The shooter has been identified as 28-year-old Audrey Hale, who police say legally bought 7 guns and was being treated for a, quote, emotional disorder. The FBI, ATF, and local police working together to investigate the attack.
We are certainly working full-time with them to try and determine what the motive is.
In Nashville, I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
And a live look this morning from the Miami Valley Jail's website. This man here, Brian Mason, locked up and now facing murder charges. Investigators say they conducted a welfare check at his home on North County Line Road. There, they say they found a woman, Michelle Elliott, with a gunshot wound. Mason's bond is now set at $1 million as he waits his preliminary hearing.
Bond is now set for a Huber Heights man accused of stabbing his co-worker at a manufacturing plant. 37-year-old Elias Jordan, who you see right here, was in court yesterday where a judge set a $1 million bond. Now, investigators say Jordan stabbed his co-worker, Sean Monroe, to death earlier this month. They say video evidence places Jordan at the crime scene. He's indicted on 2 counts of murder, 2 counts of felonious assault, and 3 counts of tampering with evidence.
Police in Columbus are looking for answers this morning following multiple shootings. They say a person was shot and killed at the Esporta Fitness in West Columbus last night. Now, they got the call around 8:45 p.m. about a shooting inside the gym. So far, no suspects. However, 15 minutes later, police then responded to a drive-by shooting where 2 people were shot. They're now both in critical condition this morning. Police are still looking for a suspect.
Right now, Montgomery County wants to make sure every person has reliable, affordable internet. The community met with the county to discuss connectivity issues. They want everyone to share their issues and their priorities. Anyone living in the county can reach out to the Office of Strategic Initiatives if they have concerns. For more information, head to Dayton247now.com and click on the web version of this story. Well, today you can head out to the 2023 Celebration of the Arts at the University of Dayton. They're highlighting the artistic accomplishments of students from 7:30 at the Schuster Performing Arts Center. It is free and open to the public. Performances range from orchestra to modern dance to gospel and more. Today is
thanks, Nathan. Today is the day of giving for Jersey Mike subs. They're going to donate 100% of the proceeds today to the United Rehabilitation Services to help children and adults with disabilities and special needs. That includes the locations in Washington Township, Centerville, Beaver Creek, Kettering, Springboro, and Troy. It's okay. I know you're just excited about some Jersey Mikes.
I just went, oops. At this point, I'm like, I don't even know.
You didn't even end properly. That's why I was like, what?
I don't know. I just got so excited to read the next story. What can I say?
That's okay. I get it.
Our time right now, 5:06. Don't forget, you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
Don't do it again. I'm just kidding. Okay. Weather, of course, on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
Cincinnati celebrating opening day tomorrow. Just ahead, Cassie Arsenault looks at the local band ready to march and why tomorrow's performance means so much to some area students.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Live on ABC 22. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
First Lady Jill Biden is coming to town in just a matter of hours. She will actually be at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
That's where we find Alex King this morning. She's live with the details. Alex.
Yeah, all is quiet so far this morning, but soon that will change. The visit is part of her Joining Forces initiative and ahead of Month of the Military Child. She's going to meet with military families and tour a local Purple Star Elementary School. There's going to be a lot going on today. The First Lady will highlight President Biden's investments for military and veteran families, caregivers, and survivors in his fiscal year 2024 budget proposal to Congress. Joining Forces is near and dear to Dr. Biden's heart because of her family's service. Her stepson, Beau Biden, served in Iraq. During a White House event when she relaunched the initiative, she said the administration is ready to do more.
Spouses, all of you deserve opportunities to do the work you love. Whether that means keeping your job when you move from base to base or owning your own businesses. And we need to make sure that you can get quality childcare when you need it, so that you don't have to feel like you're choosing between your job and taking care of your kids.
Biden says leaders are going to work on education for over 2 million military children. She says schools want to support all students, but they don't always know how. Finally, they're going to work on military family health and well-being. Part of that includes improving access to mental health resources, making sure everyone can put food on the table, and supporting caregiving families and survivors. Now, the First Lady will arrive around 1 this afternoon, and we're going to be out here all day long with the very latest for you. We're going to have team coverage throughout the day. Stay with us because we're going to talk more about the visit and what local leaders are saying. Live in Fairborn, Alex King, Dayton 24/7 Now News.
Good morning. We're going to start things out from the top of our camera here and pointing out this is looking over the greater Miami Valley. And I was just actually talking to Nathan and Elise about their morning commutes. Now, obviously, I live very close to the station. There was still a pretty good haze outside, but Nathan was talking about driving north, how he saw the fog. Elise mentioned she saw fog. And I think this is a morning where it's going to be patchy, but potentially dense in patchy spots. So it may not be bad where you are right this second, but as you begin your morning commute, we may see this fog thicken up, especially the Dayton area. Right now, 5 miles of visibility. The reason is, as we get later into the morning hours, over the next hour or two, it does typically get a little bit cooler. We saw this yesterday where Dayton, for maybe an hour or two, we had the really thick fog set up right over 70 and 75. There were other spots that, frankly, didn't see a whole lot of fog. It seems to be more concentrated on the southern part of our area, but again, anywhere during the morning could see fog. Meanwhile, during the afternoon and evening, could be a couple of rain showers along a cold front of boundary. For Thursday into Friday, I think it's fairly quiet, but Friday itself, we are going to be looking at some storms possible, especially second half of the day. And with it, we could actually be getting not just a little bit breezy on Saturday, but potentially very windy. So that time period is of concern. Now, we pulled up a bunch of cameras because I think it's important to give you an idea. 70 and 75. Again, this is an area where yesterday the fog was quite thick, starting to get a little bit lower visibility. South of Austin, that's where, okay, the fog is pretty thick. 725 at Lyons Road. You can see a little bit of haze outside. So again, this gives you an idea. Depending on where you are, the fog could be anywhere between quite thick and not that bad. Give yourself some extra time this morning.
Well, tomorrow, dozens of different groups will be marching through the streets of Cincinnati in the Findlay Market Opening Day Parade. I can't believe it's already opening day. It's crazy. That's crazy, yeah. Members of one area college marching band are especially proud to be strutting their stuff.
More than 140 Wilberforce students will be participating. It's a marching band that's only months old. As Cassie Arsenault shows us, they're ready to show everyone what they've got.
Every step, every musical note, and every choreographed moment was built from the ground up in the last 8 months.
It's difficult. It's really difficult because, again, like a lot of us really didn't know each other like 3 months ago, for real.
Being able to gel as if we've been performing and been together for years was the biggest challenge, building a culture. So for them to get to this level is nothing short of amazing.
This is Wilberforce University's first marching band in almost 100 years. The Hounds of Sound will make an appearance in the biggest event the city of Cincinnati has all year, Red's opening day. So
when I told the students we got invited and selected to perform, of course, the Cincinnati students were beyond excited.
You have to be selected based on a video performance. They showed their first and only other performance in a Mardi Gras parade. And that sealed the deal. Now this tuba player and Purcell Marion graduate, Odell Bonner, is getting a homecoming. And Gregory Willis, a Dater grad, is getting a dream redo.
I had to go back to my town, the town I was born and raised in, and march for the Reds opening day parade. It's excellent, amazing, it's amazing. My high school was actually supposed to perform in the opening day parade, but we never actually got to, so it was like a missed opportunity for me, so I'm like happy to actually finally getting to go back.
So when you hear the velvety sounds of the horns coming your way, or the deep boom of their drums, or those smooth dance moves, it's Wilberforce showing you this is just the beginning. They're here to stay.
It's one of the things that brings me like the most peace. It's like, oh yeah, I'm putting so much energy and the crowd's giving it back. It's like, oh yeah, I'm really like doing this. So everybody's into it. It's like a good time for everybody.
Our philosophy is if you're not hype about what you're doing, no one else is going to be. So you always got to have high intensity and high energy when it's time to perform.
I want to say, go Reds.
Go Reds.
In Wilberforce, Cassie Arsenault, Local 12 News.
Our time right now, 5:18. A gentle giant, mermaid, or sea cow, whatever you want to call them. Just ahead, we're going to celebrate manatees.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 Now News.
on ABC 22. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
We want to give you a live look over the city of Miamisburg this morning. We know just north of here, near the city of Dayton, it is a foggy patch, and we're seeing fog all over the Miami Valley this morning.
We certainly are. We want to send it right over to meteorologist Nick Maruziak, who's kind of breaking down what we're seeing throughout the Miami Valley and what we expect to see as the morning goes on.
Well, it's always a question mark of, okay, where is the fog right now and where does it develop? Yesterday, it developed right on top of 70 and 75. That is why I'm really watching that area closely, because it took about 20 minutes for it to thicken up. And once it did, it lasted about an hour where it almost became a pea soup fog. Meanwhile, Springfield, Miamisburg, Lebanon, Middletown, those are the areas right now where we do have the densest fog. Again, those are point-by-point locations, so you may encounter thicker fog either elsewhere or perhaps maybe you'll find a spot where it's a little bit clearer. But in general, this is a morning where if you are going to be driving, you just have to give yourself a little bit of extra time. And like yesterday, I think the next hour or two is really going to be the time period of greater concern. As for this morning's commute, after talking with Nathan, he said, okay, check this area, and you can see the fog south of Dryden Road. At 725 in Lyons, you see the businesses that are really close. Those are clear. However, further in the distance, you get an idea that fog is a little bit thick. 70 and 75, top right. That is where there is, again, a little bit of a haze, but I do expect this fog to potentially become thicker over the next half hour, hour, or 2 hours. So it's something that we'll be concerned with all morning.
Right now, state leaders pushing to abolish the death penalty. It is currently on hold. The lethal drugs are either unavailable or difficult to get from vendors and companies. In 2019, Governor DeWine stopped executions when a judge ordered a review of Ohio's death penalty procedures. State Senator and bill co-sponsor Steve Huffman gives his reasons for supporting the effort to end it.
It's been introduced 4 or 5, 6 times, but I think that we have a lot of bipartisan support now based on, the financial reasons, moral reasons. People have been exonerated, and I think it's the right thing to do.
The repeal will be submitted later this week and currently has 12 bipartisan sponsors in the Senate.
Trotwood city leaders now fighting for tougher legislation on dangerous driving or hooning. They visited the Ohio State House yesterday to talk about increased penalties for reckless drivers. Our Gwyneth Falloon reports.
According to Trotwood's Mayor Mary McDonald, hooning and reckless driving is not just a city problem, it's an issue across Montgomery County. She warns the trend and therefore the problem is only increasing and is asking for stricter laws and consequences.
Honing has become a nuisance to the police, and unfortunately, the current tools and laws in place are simply not sufficient for the risks associated with these types of behaviors.
Trotwood Police Chief Eric Wilson says the department is also seeing a rise in reckless driving, street racing, and other forms of hooning. He says most of the time it is organized on social media, so it can't be traced. Wilson spoke about the recent January hooning incident, saying it is extremely dangerous because they block off the entire street so patrol cars can't intervene. Additionally, he says it's an annoyance for the community as it impacts their roads and ability to get where they're going. District 39 Representative Phil Plummer says they had a meeting yesterday to improve House Bill 56, and he says he is committed to helping. Chief Wilson and Mayor McDonald were also joined by Trotwood's fire chief, members of the city's law department, and a number of other community leaders. Reporting in Trotwood, I'm Gwyneth Falloon.
Right now, episode 8 of our podcast, Missing Erica Baker, is out. And for the first time, we're talking to a woman who police say was with Christian Gabriel the day 9-year-old Erica went missing over 24 years ago. Now, we also talked to the new detective on the case and discuss recent search efforts at a local park. You can listen to the new episode or binge the entire series. It's super easy to find. All you gotta do is look for Missing Erica Baker wherever you get your podcasts, or scan the QR code right there on your screen to subscribe for free, or search Missing Erica Baker in your podcast app.
First Lady Jill Biden expected to be touching down at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base this afternoon.
Now, our team coverage starts with Dayton 24/7 Now's Alex King, who is live with more on the visit. Alex.
Yeah, that's right. The First Lady will visit Wright-Patterson Air Force Base here in Greene County to meet with military families. Right now, cars are making their way into the base. We've got actually a pretty steady line of making their way through security so far this morning, and it's only 5:35, which is crazy. Dr. Biden will tour a local Purple Star elementary school supporting military-connected children and host a listening session with military parents. She will also highlight President Biden's investments for military and veteran families, caregivers, and survivors. Congressman Mike Turner, who represents the Air Force Base, says it's a chance for the administration to support local military families.
This is really an opportunity on a national level for the First Lady to come and to recognize Right Pat's work is important to our security. Another aspect of this is that she will be acknowledging the work that we've done as a community to support the families of our military who are serving at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
The mission of the Joining Forces initiative is to support military and veteran families, caregivers, and survivors. The First Lady's work and priorities of Joining Forces are guided by the life experiences and the perspectives shared during listening sessions with those military-connected families. Now, the First Lady will arrive here around 1 this afternoon, and we'll be out here with the very latest all throughout the day. Stay with us because we're going to talk more about this initiative, and we'll hear from the First Lady herself. Live in Fairborn, Alex King, Dayton 24/7 Now News.
Wright-Patterson Air Force Base is now honoring one of its civilians for going above and beyond. The base gave Jacqueline Melcher the Air Force Command Civilian Award for Valor. Last fall, her family drove past a car crash in Chester Township. Melcher and another Wright-Pat official jumped into action. She acted as incident commander when first responders got there. Now, the base says their action saved one of the drivers. Now, the other died. Her family made sure to be at the memorial service.
A local woman is working to reach a lifelong goal. That's to meet award-winning actor Johnny Depp this summer. Clara Faith explains how she's doing it and how you can help.
74-year-old Kara Barger is making artwork to raise money to meet her favorite actor, Johnny Depp. She tells me her love for him began when the actor was in 21 Jump Street. Barger lives with developmental disabilities, but she says this doesn't stop her from chasing her dreams of meeting Depp. Her caretaker surprised her with tickets to Depp's concert in July, and now she's hoping to raise $5,000 for airfare and hotel.
So far, she's sent 15 pictures out to people throughout the United States, California, Oregon, Iowa, and so she's really making a name for herself, and I'm so proud of her.
Bargo will be traveling to see Johnny Depp this July. If you or anyone you know would like to donate, you can go to the web version of this story, and you can find this link there. Now back to you guys.
5:38 is our time right now. Don't forget your headlines are scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
A young girl making a special birthday wish just ahead, and hometown hero Adam Arrow shares her kind donation to an area shelter.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 Now.
This morning, we're continuing to see fog. Once we get to about 10 a.m., though, the fog should start to mix out, and from there, we'll see the clouds increase. So almost exactly a similar start to what we saw yesterday, perhaps just a few degrees cooler on the whole. Meanwhile, for this afternoon, note the showers moving through, perhaps a few more than yesterday, but there's still likely to be some of us that will stay dry. For tomorrow, it'll wake up to a clear and cold start. We'll have temperatures all the way down to 20s, but we should be able to rally well into the 50s under generally sunny weather. For Friday, maybe waking up to a couple of showers and thunderstorms, but by the afternoon and evening, we will have the threat starting to move in of some stronger storms. Now, a lot needs to be determined out to the west, and there's still some major question marks of can these storms hold together long enough. But there is at least some sliver of opportunity for some stronger storms to develop across the area. Now, as for this morning, again, patchy fog is possible, and there could be some areas of dense fog.
More proof this morning you are never too young to be a hometown hero.
A little girl from Clark County didn't want presents for her birthday. Instead, she wanted to help others. Adam Arrow shows us.
This is 8-year-old Aria Woodson. Clark County officials say in 2022, Woodson decided she didn't want gifts for her birthday. Instead, the Moorfield Township resident donated $100 to the Clark County Dog Shelter for her 7th birthday. And this year, she donated $150. When talking about her donations, she said that she already had a ton of stuff, so she wanted to donate something to the shelter. Now, the dog shelter and the Clark County Board of Commissioners honored her last week during a meeting. She got a plaque and other gifts collected by the dog warden's office for her contribution. Now, all donations to the shelter pay for care and other items above and beyond those already paid for by the county's general fund. Needless to say, the county is incredibly grateful, and it goes to show sometimes the little things can make a big difference. I think Aria Woodson is a hometown hero.
Well, if you know someone that's a hometown hero, let us know. Grab your phone, scan the QR code.
You could chime in your submission through our app. We send a description of why they're a hometown hero and a few pictures or video.
5:44, our time right now. Baseball is back. Cincinnati getting ready to start a new season in minutes. Who will be missing on opening day, and the former Dragon that will be getting the ball tomorrow?
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
on ABC 22. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Tomorrow marks the start of the new season for the Cincinnati Reds. The Queen City ready to celebrate opening day with the Findlay Market Parade. One player who will be missing is Reds first baseman Joey Votto. Now you're looking at the Louisville Bats Twitter page. Votto will begin the season on a rehab assignment in AAA. He's missing opening day for the first time since 2008. On the injured list, he's still healing from off-season surgery that repaired his torn rotator cuff in his left shoulder. Now, the Reds open the season tomorrow versus the Pittsburgh Pirates at Great American Ballpark with first pitch at 4:10. At the age of 23, former Dragons pitcher Hunter Greene, that's right, will start opening day.
Exciting. Well, two fishermen accused of cheating appeared in an Ohio courtroom Monday. The two pleaded guilty to multiple charges for cheating at the 2022 Lake Erie Walleye Trail Tournament. Jacob Runyon and Chase Kaminsky entered guilty pleas to two of the four charges they originally faced, one count of cheating and one count of unlawful ownership of wild animals. Runyon and Kaminsky are set to be sentenced on May 11th. They may face up to 12 years in prison. As part of the plea, they were 12 months in prison, not years, excuse me. As part of the plea, they were ordered by the court to forfeit their fishing boat, trailer, and other fishing equipment, and their fishing licenses have been suspended for 3 years.
Good morning. We're waking up to some fog, and in fact, it has gotten a little bit thicker over the last, I would say, half hour or so. So before we could really pick up the buildings out in the distance, now we're starting to lose those. Obviously, you could still see the towers, so it's not like it's complete blanket, but the blanket has become just a touch thicker. For today and tomorrow, it should be fairly quiet outside of a few showers. Friday, completely different story. The further west you go, the better chance of an outbreak of severe weather. In fact, the Storm Prediction Center has already started to highlight the area of Illinois as potentially one of those outbreaks where it's storms, tornadoes, things of that nature. For us, if we are going to see it, it's going to have to hold together across the states, and we're going to run into nighttime hours. So there's a lot of factors that say, okay, it probably won't hold together, but still some of the models are suggesting it's a real possibility for overnight Friday and into parts of Saturday morning. Saturday itself, just a lingering shower. Sunday's also fairly quiet. Monday into Tuesday brings at least some chance of rain, but again, this is an active period Friday into Saturday. As of right now, the biggest concern would be some heavy amounts of rain yet again, but winds are certainly a possibility for both Friday and into parts of Saturday. Meanwhile, the biggest concern of this morning has continued to be the fog. Right now, Dayton Yellow Springs Road, 675. Fog there. South of Dryden Road, 70 and 675. So we are seeing the fog thicken up in parts of the area. One area where it hasn't is 70 and 75. Yesterday, that's where we had it in Dayton. So again, it is moving around and it could become thicker in spots and also thinner in spots. Give yourself some extra time this morning, no matter what you do.
Our time right now, 5:50 this morning. One bite. Everyone knows the rules. Just ahead, the pizza review Dayton has been waiting for and the score for a pizza favorite. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
In this morning's GMA First Look, Royal Tabloid Showdown. The Prince, along with 6 other high-profile figures like Elton John and husband David Furnish and actress Elizabeth Hurley, accusing Associated Newspapers of unlawfully gathering information on them. They claim private investigators bugged their phones, homes, and cars, paid off police officials for sensitive information, and impersonated individuals to get banking and medical records. Prince Harry says he only became aware of the privacy intrusions in the last few years. Explaining in his witness statement, "I am bringing this claim because I love my country, and I remain deeply concerned by the unchecked power, influence, and criminality of Associated." And we'll have the very latest live from the UK coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Choosing a treatment for your chronic migraine? 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more, can be overwhelming. So ask your doctor about Botox. Botox prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine before they even start. It's the #1 prescribed branded chronic migraine treatment. So far, more than 5 million Botox treatments have been given to over 850,000 chronic migraine patients.
Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
In a survey, 92% of current users said they wish they talked to their doctor and started Botox sooner. So ask your doctor if Botox is right for you. Learn how AbbVie could help you save on Botox.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Welcome to the Watson's Weather Patio, where this morning it's interesting because while some spots have denser fog, I was just looking over this area where yesterday it was more hazy as you looked up to the lights. I want to say it's still a little bit of fog here, but it's very much so patchy. And I think the big thing is that because of the patchy nature of it, where you are may be fine. You may be having no issues whatsoever, but then you get out and you're going to encounter those issues. Part of the reason we are still continuing to see fog, the rain yesterday, as we talked about, adding that moisture to the ground really helps. Then you get temperatures down in the 30s. This is a case where you get all the ingredients together and you are going to get some spots with dense fog. Other spots won't be as bad. Either way, if you are planning your morning commute, it is chilly outside and also there is some fog, so make sure that you are taking your time and maybe keeping the kids inside a little bit longer during the morning bus stop.
March 29th brings music to our ears. Today is World Piano Day, held on the 88th day of the year because most pianos have 88 keys. The day was started in 2015 to promote the development of music and to share the joy of playing the piano. A couple fun facts about the piano. It was invented in the 1700s in Italy, and the most expensive piano in the world is 24 karat gold and is priced at more than $1 million.
An Australian man hit the jackpot when he found a 10-pound gold-filled rock That is crazy. It's dubbed the Lucky Strike Nugget and is worth more than $160,000. Check it out. The amateur gold digger found the rock in the state of Victoria in an area known as the Golden Triangle. The person who valued it says the nugget is a, quote, once in a lifetime find. The man used an $800 detector to find the valuable gem. In 2020, gold diggers in southern Australia found 2 huge nuggets worth $250,000.
One bite, everyone knows the rules. Behind me, Dave Portnoy's Twitter page, where he just posted the pizza review the Dayton pizza lovers have been waiting for. Now, check this out. The popular Barstool Pizza review featured the Gem City's own Marion's Piazza. It was a solid score, with Portnoy saying he liked the crispy, teeny little pieces, and it was a classic Midwest pie.
7.4.
Marion survived the taste test, scoring a very respectful 7.4 with over 1,000 reviews from OneBitePizzaRankings.com. Marion's score comes in at 357.
We're our number 357. We're our number 357.
You know what? I'll take it, though, because here's the deal. I know Marion's if you're not from Dayton, I know it can be a controversial food, just like Skyline is in the area as well. And I know it's not for everybody, but I'm glad that he came in here and didn't destroy our souls.
I'm looking at Elise.
Because I know New York style pizza, other region pizzas are just different.
Elise, comment?
She doesn't want to get herself in trouble with people.
I mean, it's fine. I'm just from Northeast Ohio, and our pizza is different. I will leave it at that.
She just thinks she's superior to everything.
Dude, the food back home is legit, and if you lived there, you would understand. All right, we're getting yelled at.
I just want to throw out real quick, one of the best parts of the video is he almost witnesses a car crash in front of him. I said, that's a very Dayton.
That is so Dayton. So
All right,
Dayton.
we got a lot more coming up on ABC 22 in the morning at 6 a.m.
Right now, the First Lady is on her way to the Miami Valley. I'm going to explain the purpose of her visit coming up next.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Live on ABC 22. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
We want to give you a live look right now at I-75 just near Miamisburg. You can see traffic moving slowly and a little bit of fog there off in the distance as we're dealing with a foggy start to this morning.
We certainly are, and breaking it all down for us this morning is meteorologist Nick Maruziak. Nick, where are we seeing the fog, and how long do you think it'll last?
Well, like yesterday, it's actually across portions of the eastern half of our area. Unlike yesterday, it's more towards the south, so it seems to have shifted just a little bit in a almost circular shape. Now, obviously, fog in the morning is a little bit of a problem, but when you start getting dense fog, meaning 0.3 miles of visibility, 0.3 in Springfield, 0.8. That's where it starts to become much more of an issue for driving. Dayton itself, reminder, airport, north side of town, is at 5 miles of visibility. It's chilly outside. In fact, Dayton's already down to 34. Could see some of these temperatures actually get down into the upper 20s this morning. We will likely have this fog continue through 9 a.m. So any spot that is seeing it right now, the concern is it does become just a little bit more dense during the morning. As for the spots that are seeing it, 70 at 675. Earlier was a little bit more foggy. Again, this is kind of how it goes. South of Dryden Road, though, that's been the area where it's been pretty consistent. And Dayton Yellow Springs Road area, again, there is some consistent fog as well. So if you are traveling this morning, be prepared for that fog and just be prepared for a little bit of reduced visibility as well.
In just a matter of hours, First Lady Jill Biden will be at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
That's where we find our very own Alex King this morning. She's live with details. Alex.
Well, the visit is a part of her Joining Forces initiative and ahead of Month of the Military Child, as she's going to meet with military families and tour a local Purple Star Elementary School. The First Lady will highlight President Biden's investments for military and veteran families, caregivers, and survivors in his fiscal year 2024 budget proposal to Congress. Joining Forces is near and dear to Dr. Biden's heart because of her family's service. Her stepson, Beau Biden, served in Iraq. During a White House event when she relaunched the initiative, she said the administration is ready to do more.
Spouses, all of you deserve opportunities to do the work you love. Whether that means keeping your job when you move from base to base or owning your own businesses. And we need to make sure that you can get quality childcare when you need it, so that you don't have to feel like you're choosing between your job and taking care of your kids.
Biden says leaders are going to work on education for over 2 million military children. She says schools want to support all students, but they don't always know how. Finally, they're going to work on military family health and well-being. Part of that includes improving access to mental health resources, making sure everyone can put food on the table, and supporting caregiving families and survivors. Now, the First Lady will arrive around 1 this afternoon, and we're going to be out here giving you the very latest throughout the day. Stay with us because we're going to hear from local leaders coming up next. Live in Fairborn, Alex King, Dayton 24/7 Now News.
We're learning new details this morning about the officers who took down the suspect in the Nashville school shooting. One of them may actually have local ties. Multiple news outlets this morning in the Chicago area report Officer Rex Engelbert, who's on the left, is a graduate of the University of Dayton. We reached out to UD. Now, the university does have records of a grad with his name from 2018, but they can't yet confirm if it's him.
We're also learning new details about 3 children and 3 adults killed. As the community mourns, there are also calls for action. Mike Valerio is in Nashville and has the latest on the investigation and the lives lost.
They're all with God.
A community in mourning, paying respect to the 6 lives lost during Monday's Nashville school shooting.
I'm a 101-year-old, and I've done a lot of things, but this really hurts.
We're learning new details about the victims, shot and killed at a private Christian elementary, as the grieving community calls for action.
It's absolutely devastating, and it just calls again for change to happen, because this cannot continue to happen.
The 9-year-old victims have been identified as Evelyn Dickhouse, William Kenny, and Holly Scruggs, whose father is the lead pastor at the school's neighboring church. The 3 adult victims all worked for the school. Catherine Kuntz was 60 years old and led the school.
She had this amazing confidence, but she was a person of grace.
Cynthia Peak, who is 61 years old, a beloved substitute teacher, and 61-year-old custodian Mike Hill.
The Congress has to act.
Despite growing calls for change, lawmakers in Washington appearing unready to address gun control.
Right now, I'm not focused on the politics of the situation.
If you think Washington's going to fix this problem, you're wrong.
Meantime, Metro Nashville police releasing this video leading up to the suspect's takedown.
Metro police, open the door!
The shooter has been identified as 28-year-old Audrey Hale, who police say legally bought 7 guns and was being treated for a, quote, emotional disorder. The FBI, ATF, and local police working together to investigate the attack.
We are certainly working full-time with them to try and determine what the motive is.
In Nashville, I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
A live look from the Miami Valley Jail's website this morning, where this man, Brian Mason, is now locked up and facing murder charges. Investigators say they conducted a welfare check at his home on North County Line Road. There, they say they found a woman, Michelle Elliott, with a gunshot wound. Mason's bond is now set at $1 million as he awaits his preliminary hearing.
Bond is now set for a Huber Heights man accused of stabbing his co-worker at a manufacturing plant. This is 37-year-old Lytus Jordan. He was in court yesterday where a judge set a $1 million bond. Investigators say Jordan stabbed his co-worker Sean Monroe to death earlier this month. They say video evidence places Jordan at the crime scene. He's indicted on 2 counts of murder, 2 counts of felonious assault, and 3 counts of tampering with evidence.
Police in Columbus are now looking for answers this morning following multiple shootings. They say a person was shot and killed at the Esporta Fitness in West Columbus last night. Now, they got the call around 8:45 p.m. about a shooting inside the gym. So far, no suspects, but then 15 minutes later, police responded to a drive-by shooting where 2 people were shot. They both are in critical condition this morning. Police are still searching for a suspect.
Right now, Montgomery County wants to make sure every person has reliable, affordable internet. The community met with the county to discuss connectivity issues. They want everyone to share their issues and their priorities. Anyone living in the county can reach out to the Office of Strategic Initiatives if they have concerns. For more information, head to Dayton247now.com. Click on the web version of the story.
Well, today you can head on out to the 2023 Celebration of the Arts at the University of Dayton. They're highlighting the artistic accomplishments of students from 7:30 at the Schuster Performing Arts Center. It is free and open to the public. Performances range from orchestra to modern dance to gospel and more.
Today is a day of giving for Jersey Mike subs. They'll donate 100% of the proceeds today to United Rehabilitation Services to help children and adults with disabilities and special needs. That includes the locations in Washington Township, Centerville, Beaver Creek, Kettering, Springboro, and Troy.
6:08 is our time right now. Don't forget your headlines are scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
An area school making a large investment to create a new fire station in Springfield. Just ahead, the unique program and the partnership that'll create some valuable training.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Good morning. Waking up to some patchy fog this morning. If you are traveling, you will encounter some fog here or there. And again, the 0 miles of visibility near Middletown. Dayton's been holding at 5. So for right now, it doesn't seem like it's getting any better or any worse across the north side of town. For later on today, it's cloudy skies and a chance of showers. Model trends have been drier and drier with that frontal boundary, almost like yesterday. They went really heavy with the rain. Today and the day before, they were lighter. So for right now, probably some light showers across the area and scattered at that. Thursday's quiet. Friday, completely different story. Friday, maybe even waking up to some showers and thunderstorms. There's the potential for a couple periods of heavy rain. Second half of the day, there's a lot of caveats to this, but there is a chance for some stronger storms to develop. A, we would need some clearing. B, we would need those storms to hold together, and there's still to be some instability in the air, but there is at least a scenario where we could be looking at some stronger storms during the second half of Friday. Meanwhile, again, the big storyline of the morning continues to be the fog. South of Dryden Road has been consistent fog. Lyons Road, Dayton Springs Road, 70 and 675. Not quite as bad as it was earlier. There's still road construction between exit 44 and 50 on I-75 North, and East Franklin Street between Lake Glencourt and West Park Road is closed right now for a road construction. So if you have to use detours in around that area.
6:13, our time right now.
In Grammy Hope, we introduce you to a special kid looking for a home. We've got more coming up.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Live on ABC 22, you're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
At any given time, there's more than 600 kids in foster care in Montgomery County alone. The goal is always to reunite them with their families, but Some can never go back home, and now they're up for adoption.
Dayton 24/7 Now is teamed up with Grant We Hope to help, and this morning we want to introduce you to Cameron, who's right now looking for a family.
Hi, I'm Cameron. I'm 14. Call me Carrot Cam, or you can call me Mr. KB. It don't matter what you call me. Like, I like rock, hip hop, jazz, gospel, all that. I don't really care about it. I just like indie music. Actually, I used to be in a band with friends. I did some rock songs. I'm not really a good dancer though. I always want to take dance class. Also, I love video games like Call of Duty, Roblox. I just love anything. One of my favorite things I like to do is canoeing. So if I just won the lottery, I would just use it to help people out and just use it for people who needs help from the hospital stuff and donate for the poor kids. Because there's more things to love than money. Because money technically is the root of evil, one of them. But like I said, I'm always happy to help everybody. I'm a great kid, lovable. I help people out and no ask for any favors. Because a good person has a good heart. That's all I need. I'm a grateful kid, and I'm grateful for this life. I love God. God gave us all this life, and we should cherish it no matter what, as long as we have to live. Anything can happen. I've been really lonely. I really always wanted a family. I always want one. Every time I see these families and these kids happy with somebody, that makes me really lonely, sad, crying.
Oh my goodness, he has a little heart of gold. You can find out more about Cameron and other kids who are up for adoption right now at Dayton247now.com.
Every week we're going to feature another child in our Dayton 24/7 Now's Grant Me Hope profiles.
Good morning. Temperatures are in the upper 20s and low to mid 30s this morning. Dayton, the one spot, Sydney also, at 34 degrees. Otherwise, just about all of us have dipped below the freezing mark. And again, we are still dealing with that fog for this morning. The fog a little bit thicker across the south. And I think this is why we do have the calm winds there. 5 to 10 mile per hour winds for the north. So not quite as calm. Calm winds really allow that air to settle down and hit the surface and also begin to form that cloud known as fog. Meanwhile, for us, if you are traveling this morning, it feels like it's in the 20s. It's the view in your morning commute. Still some fog out here in the Miami Valley. Later on this morning, we will see the clouds increase. By the time we get into the evening hours, there is a chance, at least some chance, of a scattered shower, although it doesn't look particularly likely. Friday into Saturday still is the time period of what I'm going to say is the greatest concern, at least comparatively. So today it's just a few showers. Tomorrow it's quiet. Friday we'll wake up to rain, potentially a couple bands of heavy rain. Second half of the day, as the storm system moves in, depending on how long it could hold together, there is a chance of some really intense winds. Saturday, it's just a windy day. Think on the order of what we saw, Saturday of this week, where the winds were howling at times. Could be that strong yet again as the system clears. Sunday's quiet. Monday into Tuesday bring more chances of wet weather. For this morning's traffic, fog on just about every one of our cameras right now. 675 has thickened up. 75 at Lyons Road, Dayton's Yellow Springs Road, and south to Dryden Road. No matter where you are, the fog is here and there. Some spots it is thicker, but as of right now, no major issues on the interstates when it comes to tops or incidents.
Topping this morning's Dayton Business Journal headlines, Clark State College and the city of Springfield are partnering to invest $7 million into a new fire station on South Limestone Street that will enhance training opportunities for students in that. Sorry, he's been having an issue there. There we go. Opportunities for students in Clark. I'm just like Ron Burge for Clark State's Fire Academy training program. They'll get real world experience that can be replicated in typical classroom. The station is expected to be done by the end of the year, and the training program will start next spring. To read more about this story and others like it, head to Dayton247now.com. Click on the News tab and select Dayton Business Journal. I'm Ron Burgundy.
I think they were just testing you to see if you're actually paying attention this
I
morning.
was trying to get down. And,
You were paying attention. I'll give you that, but not good enough.
How now, brown cow? How now? The
What is it?
arsonist.
I love Scotch.
Scotch. The arsonist had oddly shaped feet.
What?
The arsonist had oddly shaped feet.
Is that another one?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Anywho,
Sorry.
6:21. We're getting yelled at already today?
We
6:21
in all
is our
fairness,
time right now. Come on, Alex.
We deserve it.
A little
Digital
love.
producer Max is back. Trying to get you over the hump. Your Facebook poll question coming up in just minutes.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Time for Pet of the Day, and today we are joined by Ovi and Scarlett. These two having a little bit of fun out there. Obviously, one of them tongue out, which is always a good sign. That's usually when I know Valkyrie is done with whatever we've been doing, because the tongue goes out, and yeah, okay, time to go to bed. 10 a.m. temperatures being around 40. This is about when the fog will have pretty much mixed out outside of a spot or two. By noontime, we'll be up around 50 degrees. Should be able to get into the 50s this time period from about 2 to 6 p.m. The best chance of any type of wet weather. I'm not expecting a whole lot, but like yesterday, there could be a couple of showers across the area, mainly bringing some light rain. Again, this is not a huge impact weather day. And in fact, the only huge weather impact may be just this patchy, dense fog for the morning hours as you gear up for your morning commute. There is at least some chance that it does thicken up, although for the last hour or so, it's pretty much been consistent. It's just a matter of where it has been. 75 at Lyons, 75 south of Dryden, and you see 70 and 675. So again, there is some patchy fog here and there across the area, but so far it's been pretty quiet on the interstates and roadways.
All right. I'm only doing it because I'm off the next 2 days.
It's okay. All right, digital producer Max standing by. We love to introduce you here. What's the question?
In your
this
banana
morning?
shirt?
Mr. Banana.
Yeah.
I want to have something everybody likes.
Is your mic on?
I think so.
It doesn't sound like it's
Does
on,
not
Max.
sound like it's on, Maximus.
Green light.
Is his mic on?
No.
It does not sound.
Doesn't sound like it?
There you go.
There we
Okay,
go.
needed to be on the
Okay,
soundboard.
anyway, hot takes.
'Kay.
I want to know what's something everybody else loves that you think is overrated. We've got some really good answers, I want to say.
Go ahead.
Chick-fil-A, says Tony.
Rude, Tony.
Right. I agree.
I feel like you came for me.
This is going to get really aggressive. Matt says Chipotle.
Yeah, also rude.
No, I love Chipotle.
Chipotle is legit.
I understand it, but go on.
Okay, I'm not sure about Waffle House.
Waffle House.
Waffle House.
Oh my gosh. That's an insulting name for it.
You've never heard of it? You've never heard of it?
I kind of agree.
I like Debbie's answer.
The Kardashians.
I thought you would have said the Royals.
Well, they're the same thing. So if I would have to go with something that I think is overrated that a lot of people like, soup.
Ew.
What's wrong with you?
There is something wrong with you.
Soup is just not good.
It's
a
soup?
waste.
You're a waste.
No, I'm serious. Soup is a waste.
No.
And then also buying a salad from a fast food establishment or a restaurant, I think is a waste.
I think you're just hating because you're on a diet right now, and I think you just really want food, and you're not allowed to have certain foods.
My wife has heard me rant about this many times.
Oh God, your wife has heard you rant. Period.
Soup is just such a wasteful.
It is not.
It's not
soup
even good.
is like it was literally my favorite food as a kid.
I think
chicken noodle soup.
I think it's a chick thing. I think chicks like soup.
Okay, I'm gonna.
I like
should
soup.
I say
What are you talking about?
Should I say my controversial?
Yes,
Do it.
real quick. No, actually, don't say it. We'll save that for we'll do a deep tease here to the 7 o'clock hour where she buries her own grave. I mean, digs her own grave. That's right. Our time right now.
Buries my own grave. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Our time right now, 6:28. A new episode dropping on the podcast, Missing Erica Baker, just ahead. Who's being interviewed for the first time and what to expect from episode 8.
But first, here's Genevieve Gorder with America's Steals and Deals.
The following segment is sponsored by Knocking.
Well, you guys know that we're always looking for products that will help improve your life and just your overall health. This is one of those. This is Reathlete Air C Pro. Now, compression therapy was used by pro athletes and physical therapists for years. And now Reathlete, a brand you guys have loved, is bringing that therapy into your home. Here's how it works. First of all, you get comfy, and then you just simply slip on the leg sleeves and zip them up, and then you start the leg massager. These are rechargeable, so you can do this therapy literally anywhere you want. Compression therapy stimulates blood flow to increase healing. It happens faster. Maybe you just overdid it at the gym, or maybe you're recovering from surgery. Most often, you have to leave the house for physical therapy, which can be costly and time-consuming. These are also great for in-between therapy sessions to maximize treatment, and that means less time at the doctor. My husband had surgery, and these came in really handy for his feet. All you do is use the remote control and pick your settings, whatever feels good. Here's the deal. Do you really need an excuse to get relaxing leg massage? No, you can have one at home every day with this product. We're offering 33% off, you guys. So stop feeling guilty about taking care of yourself and pick one up today. You can go to asadeals.com.
on ABC 22. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
We want to give you a live look at Miamisburg this morning. You can see traffic slowing down quite a bit as we're experiencing some fog here in this area and others here in the Miami Valley.
We certainly are. So let's send it right over to meteorologist Nick Maruziak, who's going to break down exactly what you're seeing as you head out the door.
Well, I think the main thing is we're seeing some patchy dense fog this morning, but it's very much so emphasis on patchy because there are at least some areas where it's not quite as thick, including the greater area of Dayton. But within that, you can get to a spot or two where the fog really does become quite dense. Springfield, 1.3 miles, 2.5 in Xenia, 1.3 in Wilmington. And one time we were getting underneath the mile. Now, it's not to say that there's a local spot that isn't under a mile. I think there probably is. It's just one of these that every once in a while the fog may lift, may, let's say, become a little bit less dense, and then you'll see it become more dense later on in the morning. As for this morning, temperatures should get into the upper 40s, but if you are traveling right now, what you see is pretty much what to expect. There could be a couple spots of dense fog. Right now, Lyons Road looking a little better, but Dayton Yellow Springs Road and south of Dryden Road not looking great at all as, again, we're dealing with that fog this morning.
Right now, state leaders are pushing to abolish the death penalty. It's currently on hold. The lethal drugs are either unavailable or difficult to get from vendors and companies. In 2019, Governor DeWine stopped executions when a judge ordered a review of Ohio's death penalty procedures. Now, state senator and bill co-sponsor Steve Huffman gives his reasons for supporting the effort to end it.
It's been introduced 4, 5, 6 times, but I think that we have a lot of bipartisan support now based on, the financial reasons, moral reasons. People have been exonerated, and I think it's the right thing to do.
The repeal will be submitted later this week and currently has 12 bipartisan sponsors in the Senate.
Trotwood city leaders now fighting for tougher legislation on dangerous driving called hooning. They visited the Ohio State House yesterday to talk about increased penalties for reckless drivers. Our Gwyneth Falloon reports.
According to Trotwood's Mayor Mary McDonald, hooning and reckless driving is not just a city problem, it's an issue across Montgomery County. She warns the trend and therefore the problem is only increasing and is asking for stricter laws and consequences.
Honing has become a nuisance to the police, and unfortunately, the current tools and laws in place are simply not sufficient for the risks associated with these types of behaviors.
Trotwood Police Chief Eric Wilson says the department is also seeing a rise in reckless driving, street racing, and other forms of hooning. He says most of the time it is organized on social media, so it can't be traced. Wilson spoke about the recent January hooning incident, saying it is extremely dangerous because they block off the entire street so patrol cars can't intervene. Additionally, he says it's an annoyance for the community as it impacts their roads and ability to get where they're going. District 39 Representative Phil Plummer says they had a meeting yesterday to improve House Bill 56, and he says he is committed to helping. Chief Wilson and Mayor McDonald were also joined by Trotwood's fire chief, members of the city's law department, and a number of other community leaders. Reporting in Trotwood, I'm Gwyneth Falloon.
Right now, episode 8 of our podcast, Missing Erica Baker, is out now. For the first time, we are talking to a woman who police say was with Christian Gabriel the day 9-year-old Erica Baker went missing over 24 years ago. Tune in to listen to what she knows, and you can find out wherever you get your podcasts, or just scan the QR code on your screen to subscribe for free, or search Missing Erica Baker in the podcast app. And coming up in just minutes, we talk more about the new episode with a special interview in our podcast studio.
Our time right now is 6:37. Don't forget your headlines are scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
Baseball is back. Cincinnati ready to start a new season in minutes. Who will be missing on opening day? And the former Dayton Dragon that'll be getting the ball tomorrow.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Snow rollers can form in spaces with the right mix of snow, moisture, and wind, but this photo sent to our Portland, Maine station appears to show the snow retreating from the windshield and melting into this roll. Now to Washington, D.C., where the National Park Service says the cherry blossoms are starting to slowly shed petals, so we'll cherish and enjoy this view from the tidal basin.
For more content like this, like the National Weather Desk on Facebook.
Good morning. Want to bring your attention to a couple of things upcoming. Obviously, this morning dealing with a little bit of fog, but right for now, I'm thinking there's a chance of an afternoon, evening shower. Thursday's quiet. It's Friday into Saturday that we have to be a little bit more weather aware. So what's going to happen is there's going to be an approaching system on Friday. There it is. That'll continue into parts of Saturday. What ends up happening is Friday night, as this system starts to move through, the second half of it could actually produce some stronger storms. There's going to be an outbreak somewhere in the Midwest, but it's a question mark of how much can those storms hold together as they move their way into our area. As for Saturday, on the backside of this system, much like the last system, expect some strong gusty winds. Sunday's quiet, followed by Monday into Tuesday, where we should see more chances of rain.
We're in the podcast studio this morning because the Missing Erica Baker episode 8 officially dropped about an hour and a half ago. Nathan, you are one of the co-hosts. So as folks begin to listen to this latest episode, what can they expect?
Well, we really wanted to just update folks on the case. We just recently had a 24th anniversary of Erica's disappearance, and we have also been searching a local park, and that's really where we left off in episode 7, talking about those search efforts. Now, we did conclude the search of the park. We ultimately did not find Erica, but we did kind of walk folks through the process of what these search crews are looking for when it comes to finding Erica.
So when you guys were in this park, sort of what is that process that these searchers and these folks kind of go through as they search certain areas? Obviously, because this is the episode 7 left off on where the dogs hit on certain marks in this particular park, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So we went back out there with Texas EquiSearch Midwest, and they searched around these trees that these 3 cadaver dogs marked, and ultimately they dug down as far as they would for, say, a shallow grave, and they were unable to find anything other than roots. The root systems had really taken over in that area, and they felt with a certain amount of confidence that she wasn't there.
Obviously, that was a really disappointing ending to that search. Are folks still pushing this forward? I mean, what are we looking to in the future when it comes to Erica and her family?
Well, the big thing now is trying to keep the case alive, and that is keeping the case alive is actually the name of episode 8. And the big thing is Kettering police are always looking for new tips in this case. And if somebody comes forward with some information, they always investigate it thoroughly. There's a new detective on the case, Detective Matt Wolf with Kettering police. He's working with the old detectives on this story. And what they're trying to do now is digitize the evidence and the main documents for this case for future generations of detective work. So they're trying their best to preserve this case with the hopes of hopefully bringing Erica home.
I was just going to say, at this point, the family has made the assumption, detectives has made the assumption that Erica is not alive. Mm-hmm. However, what is the ultimate hope when it comes to Erica's dad, Erica's mom, Erica's grandma? Because I know throughout the original episodes, you guys really focused on her family.
Well, the family has given us incredible access throughout this entire thing. And we actually met with Greg Baker on the 24th anniversary of her disappearance at Erica's grave site. Now, the grave itself says missing, ... He'd like to change that and be able to have found on the grave site. Ultimately, it's all about keeping the story alive. We're hoping that this newest episode of the podcast will continue to do that. And hopefully, if anybody's listening who might have information, they'll be able to step forward and help provide police with some details that might lead to another search location and hopefully bringing Erica home.
I was just going to ask that. You kind of led me right into my next question. I mean, are they going to continue searching at this point?
They said they'll always search if there is a piece of evidence that leads them to a new site. And Texas EquiSearch Midwest is ready to go whenever they call.
Okay, so if they want to listen this morning, obviously it dropped at 5 a.m. About an hour and a half ago. Where do they go to listen to this episode?
All podcast providers, just search Missing Erica Baker. We got a link up on our website, Dayton247now.com right now.
All right, so we will be back here shortly. You are watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Good morning. We're waking up to temperatures right around the freezing mark. Many of us actually have dipped well below the freezing mark this morning, but it's also a morning where there's still a little bit of wind around, and that's actually important too today, because when you do have this little bit of wind, it's really preventing some of the thickest of the thick fog from developing. And that's one of the reasons why maybe this morning isn't quite as bad across portions of the area. Now, there are still some spots that are 3 miles of less visibility. That's what I would call anything from a fog to a heavier fog to almost a pea soup fog. Looking out over into the Miami Valley, actually get that fog, really good view of it this morning as you look down into the valley from up top. 57 for the rest of this afternoon and evening. We'll be somewhere in the mid-50s. It really just depends on the timing of a cold front. That cold front swings its way through during the second half day, and because it may come in just a touch later, we are going a little bit warmer across the south. It'll be cooler across north, where again that front starts to move in earlier. Tonight, 25 degrees. Tomorrow, we will have temperatures into the 50s as well, but we could actually make a run at 60. Tomorrow is going to be a quiet day before wet weather returns on Friday, potentially even a couple of storms, and then gusty winds on Saturday. As for the morning commute, the fog basically on every one of our cameras, but these are the cameras where the fog has been thick all throughout the morning. Despite the fog, right now there are no major issues on 74, 35, 75, or 675. Still some road construction on I-75 North between exit 44 and 50.
One bite. Everyone knows the rules. Behind me, Dave Portnoy's Twitter page, where he just posted the pizza review Dayton pizza lovers have been waiting for. Held my breath on this one. The popular Barstool Pizza review features the Gem City's own Marion's Piazza. It was a solid score, with Portnoy saying he liked the crispy, teeny little pieces, and it was a classic Midwest pie. Now, Marion's survived the test, scoring a very respectful 7.4. Now, with over 1,000 reviews from OneBitePizzaRankings.com, Marion's score comes in at 357.
This morning, 2 fishermen accused of cheating appeared in an Ohio courtroom on Monday. Now, the 2 pleaded guilty to multiple charges for cheating at the 2022 Lake Erie Walleye Trail Tournament. Jacob Runyon and Chase Kaminsky entered guilty pleas to 2 of the 4 charges that they originally faced, 1 count of cheating and 1 count of unlawful ownership of wild animals. Runyon and Kaminsky are set to be sentenced on May 11th. They could face up to 12 months in prison. Now, as part of the plea, they were ordered by the court to forfeit their fishing boat, trailer, and other fishing equipment, and their fishing licenses have been suspended for 3 years.
Tomorrow marks the start of a new season for the Cincinnati Reds. The Queen City ready to celebrate opening day with the Findlay Market Parade. One player who will be missing is Reds first baseman Joey Votto. And you're looking at the Louisville Bats Twitter page. Votto will begin the season on a rehab assignment in AAA. He's missing opening day for the first time since 2008 on the injured list. He's still healing from off-season surgery that repaired a torn rotator cuff in his left shoulder. The Reds open the season tomorrow versus the Pittsburgh Pirates at Great American Ballpark with first pitch at 4:10. At the age of 23, former Dayton Dragons pitcher Hunter Greene will start opening day. Hunter Greene, I remember when he was playing for the Dragons, big prospect, and as always.
That was just last year, right? Last season?
No, it was a couple years back. Last year was Ellie De La Cruz was the big
Oh,
dude.
that's right.
And some people think Ellie De La Cruz, he might make it up to the major leagues at some point this year. 6'4" shortstop.
Yeah, he's supposed to be really good. I feel like it's always super neat, watching the Dayton Dragons players because a lot of them end up making it to the big leagues.
Oh, yeah, like in some of the OG ones, like from way back in the day, Adam Dunn ended up.
Wasn't Joey Votto one, or am I wrong?
Yeah,
okay,
Joey
I was going to
Votto.
say, I swear.
Adam Dunn, big home run hitter, came from the Dragons, hit 500 career home runs. I mean, it's amazing the players that come through. It's great to see them grow.
It is. It truly is. And they all started right here in Dayton.
And it's cheap. It's not, major league ball prices in New York City or other cities where you're paying a ridiculous amount. It's good baseball fun.
Absolutely.
Plus, you can get your helmet nachos. Yes. Our time right now.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. 6:52 is our time right now. Cincinnati celebrating opening day tomorrow. Just ahead, Cassie Arsenault takes a look at the local band ready to march and why tomorrow's performance means so much to area students.